this computer. Okay, I was asked a lovely question, delightful question. Someone's about to start an intense period of spiritual commitment, and they got the flu, and they were sharing to me to speak on that. Because they're intuiting that's not an accident, that you're about to start some intense spiritual work and your body suddenly flares up with the flu. And I totally agree. In fact, my ego and everyone who's aligned with the ego, i.e., below integrity in this world, is aligned with the opposite of spiritual growth, which is going deeper into the ego. And I think if you watch some Hawkins DVD on illness, you'll see that both belief systems, but also deeper, and when he cryptically talks to the audience about guilt and the illnesses and the levels of consciousness, if you've got a lot of sexual guilt in you that you haven't resolved and forgiven in yourself and others, or judgments, then of course you may attract a life-threatening illness to do with sexual disease. Like there are obvious ones. So if you've got those sexually transmitted, if you've got a life and death sexually transmitted illness, it's probably because you've got extreme sexual guilt and belief systems and judgments in that area. Anyway, so the illness is also symbolic to how the ego attacks the truth, because of course illness is an attack on the truth of God, because I'm an infinite being, so I'm not subject to these things unless I agree to be subject to them. So yes, definitely the ego is very threatened, your ego and the collective ego. I use that term cryptically. Your ego and the whole, like if your family is aligned with the ego, if your own ego, well, illness, okay, so your ego is actually against you. It doesn't actually want you to become spiritually evolved. It's more interested because it's survival. It's continuing to juice ego payoffs for lifetime after lifetime after lifetime is based on you not doing spiritual work. And if you look at how the ego can use belief systems and the collective belief systems, so all the illnesses of humanity, to stop you from doing spiritual work, it will do. And don't underestimate the ego. It can kill you with a heart attack. If it thinks you're going to be enlightened, it would prefer to, if it's able to, depending on your level of consciousness. If your level of consciousness is low enough and you haven't got enough good karma, it could just kill you off with a heart attack. Probably I shouldn't be saying that on a video. People can tell me if I need to delete this video later on. But your ego is formidable. It can create any illness. It just takes the belief systems from yourself or from the collective and manufactures them, especially if you're serious about spiritual work. Usually if you're about to really seriously commit on the next level, I wouldn't be surprised if you get illnesses, if things go wrong, you have an accident, because your ego will do anything to sabotage that. And the collective ego can conspire with your ego. I just say that cryptically. So yes, I recommend Hawkins' work on illness to cancel those beliefs, to feel the feelings out. His anti-karma prayer, like for example, if I've got the flu, let's see the flu. It could be like I pray for forgiveness for the one me who's infected others in this lifetime and others, or whatever it is, you'd have to see what's coming up and what seems to make sense, either through a prayer or through muscle test or through a mentor. So I'm not surprised. It's a good sign, you could say. If you really get really ill just before you're doing spiritual work, it probably means you're really serious about doing spiritual work. So I'd just take it as a pat on the back that your ego is really threatened, which is a good thing. Okay, so I'll stop there on illness. Okay, how are we doing for time? Got plenty of time. Stop there.